Hey everybody, welcome to Fresh Out the Box Does Some Book Readings. I am the Game Master, Johannanon.
I'm the co-host, Casualty CDG. John, do you know what I learned today?
What?
I learned that whales are significantly smaller than you think. They're about the size of a football.
Oh. Where'd you hear that?
I've made it up. I made it up just now.
Okay.
I thought that would be something you would like to hear, though.
Yeah. Yeah, much smaller. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm here for it. But while after Gary's stroke is done, we're here to read today a book that was so graciously given to us by Hazard Studios, Supers. It is a book that many have suggested we read. A book that, as we do this ongoing superhero series, keeps coming up on the lists. So we are finally taking a look at it from the cover. Me and Gary already love it. The cover, it's fantastic. Fantastic.
You said that the fat guy has a name, but I just like his fatness.
Oh no, I called him Butterball. Butterball is a character from
I thought that was
Marvel.
his actual name.
No, Butterball is, I think he's a mutant from the Marvel universe, and his power is that he cannot be harmed.
This guy's like the Swiss butter knife.
Yeah, he's Swiss, which I thought was funny. But yeah, so I don't know why that's funny. But I guess we'll dive in, huh?
Yeah, man. Let's do that.
Let's take a look. So first off, I like dissecting just the pictures. I mean, they have bows, they have Batman mixed with Wolverine, they have whatever that guy on top.
Right. The guy at the bottom right is super great.
He looks like someone's dad. Like, just dressing up like, oh, I'm gonna go fight crime. Be back.
Chains. It's awesome.
Oh, man. It's funny. Technically, none of those people were showing superpowers, which means that it's possible they were all just normal cosplayers or something. So here's the table of contents. Okay. Just giving it a quick glance to see what I'm working with here. 156 page, 164 total. Okay. It's not too thick. We've been reading a lot of like 300s, 400 page books. This one's not too thick. It's all right. But yeah, so what's it about? Introduction. We don't really need to read these.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're worth browsing through, but a lot of these are that, like, have you never played a tabletop role-playing game before? And we keep saying we need to make a video for people who have never played a tabletop role-playing game before, but we haven't.
We do.
We just expect that you probably have by the time you've made it here.
I'm going to make a note, because I keep forgetting to do that. I like the comic book art style, how they actually have panels and stuff. I don't think we've seen that yet in the systems that we've been reviewing. Interesting. But the dice, that's always the question we have first.
In Cypher System, there was a really cool comic in the middle, but it was like an actual story.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, City of Mist does that style really well as well. And we will be looking at that one because Amit Moshe also gave us the book. But yeah, the Super's dice are used to determine the success or failure. Supers use a 6-sided dice. Okay, so this is a D6 system. Let me grab some D6 here. Boom. Ready to go already. All right.
Perfect.
Character sheet. There are resistances, aptitudes, powers, boosts, complications, advantages, disadvantages, and competency dice. So competency dice are used to modify rolls, perform power stunts, and otherwise affect situations during gameplay. Okay. Interesting. So right off the bat, there's some uniqueness going on here. There is some, supers only kind of stuff that aren't in the other books we've been reading.
So it is a dice pool game also, and it looks pretty straightforward.
It is a dice pool game, yeah. 2 dice, 3 dice, 4 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice. Yep. Interesting. I enjoy dice pools.
I'm new to dice pools, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think we've done one on stream.
But they're fine. I don't not like them.
I like them. I'm a fan.
I guess I'm undecided, but I think I like them.
Is this a whole character sheet? That's crazy if it is. That's pretty simple. Here's one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow. Those are simple. Interesting. So yeah, on page, 9, they have a full character sheet with resistances, composure, fortitude, reaction, and will. You have a max, you have a current, which means that odds are, maybe you take damage to those. Then you have your aptitudes, your powers, and your advan, disadvan. And then base and current competency. That's interesting. I don't know what a success track is. That is interesting, and it looks like a calendar.
I mean, anytime you put numbers in a rectangle and you stack them up, I guess it kind of looks like a calendar.
I think it's the highlighted middle part that really does it for me. I don't know why. That just screams calendar to me.
I love the 10 days a week on this calendar.
It's interesting, yeah, because it's like the numbers aren't sequential. Oh, they go up and down. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, they snake. Oh, that gray must signify something. Okay, sorry, we're speculating. I enjoy speculating. Stats for mooks and henchmen, that is always an interesting thing. How easy is it for me to run? So there are complete rules for that on page 110. Okay. I like it when they have rules for the baddies. You know what I mean? For creating
Yeah, especially the differences between mooks and henchmen. I feel like that's a really important part of...
Very important distinction.
It's an important part of superhero games, and I think also a lot of, like, 4th edition did it with the minion enemies that were one hit to kill.
I loved it. I loved the minion enemies.
Yeah. There's something great about minion enemies, and I like it. I like the mooks. It makes you feel like a hero. You don't feel quite as heroic if you just spend turns beating up mooks over and over and over. It takes you all that long to kill one guy.
Yeah, sometimes, and it can really drag the story when, like, someone's getting mugged and your superhero just can't hit them or, like, doesn't kill them in the first hit or whatever. You know, it's just, well, knockout. Sorry.
Yeah, I also said kill afterwards. I was like, I guess defeat is the word I should use.
Performing actions. The game will attempt all sorts of actions. They will search for clues, blah, 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 roll dice, oppose checks. Okay. This is all boilerplate standard stuff. So we're gonna go ahead. We're aware.
This one on page 12 is overwhelming. You'll like it.
So difficulty goes from straightforward to near impossible. 3 to 42 are the ranges of task difficulty. Situational modifiers. Ooh.
So things from 3 to 12 are mundane tasks that everyday people would be trying. Things from 15 to 18 are exceptional tasks, and things from 24 to 42, those are super tasks that go from incredible all the way to unbelievable, mind-blowing, and near impossible. So there's that. Did you see the giant tracker chart?
Oh, I'm looking at it. I'm not sure I fully understand it. I do think it's interesting. It says situational modifiers actually can take entire dice away from you, which is interesting. It's not like a -1.
What you're looking at here is the target numbers on the far left. So if your target number to beat something is a 1, all you have to do is have 1 success, and you somehow roll 18 successes on your 6-sided die that you're rolling. That would be...
Gotcha. Okay, I understand it now. I get it. Interesting. Wow.
So as soon as you kind of see that target number column, that helps you make sense of the rest of that sheet.
It does. Really, they don't really need the columns.
What's that?
They don't really need the columns the way they are. Because you could just put, like in the top, you could put 1 through 6 normal, 7 through... You don't have to write them all out. It's kind of weird. But hey.
It is kind of weird.
I don't know. Maybe there's a reason.
Maybe there is. Maybe this will help you later with our success tracker.
Oh, here it is. Compact success track. It's kind of funny. Super's official character sheet includes the following success track for ease of determining the number. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is. Assisting.
That one was more confusing. Whatever.
Yeah, right? Assisting. Sometimes characters team up and accomplish tasks. In such situations, one character takes the lead in assisting. An assisting character makes an assist roll, casting his or her dice in an appropriate aptitude or power. Every 6 full points of score on an assist attempts grants a temporary competency dice to the lead. Okay.
So the competency pool, those are dice that characters can use to enter the scene if they are not part of the scene, as long as they're not part of something else that totally won't let that happen. You can also use it to ignore disadvantages, improve your roll, interrupt an action. You can take a little bit of narrative control. There are power stunts. You can reuse attributes, or you can take one for the team. Which is usually a held action. You can spend a competency die to do that.
That's very interesting.
There's also the temporary competency dice, which I think you said that's what you get for an assist.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. Sounds cool. Sounds interesting. I wonder how it would work out in play. You can use it to power stunt. Let's see, narrative control. Which ones of these do we need to deeper dive into? Ignore disadvantage is pretty obvious. Entering scene, obvious. Improve a roll, again, obvious. Interrupt an action. Typically, characters may only perform an interrupt if they have held action. See page 20. Characters without a held action may spend competency dice in order to perform. Okay. So you can be like, no, I like that. I like that.
The narrative control, you can use it to add a thing to the scene. Like if you're falling off a building, you can add a dumpster full of mattresses.
Or an awning.
Or if you're fighting a fire elemental, you can make sure that there's a hydrant close by.
Interesting.
Things like that, they can give you a little help.
I like that. Power stunts are temporary enhancements to already existing powers. Characters perform power stunts by expending competency dice for various effects. One possibility is expending competency dice to add temporary boosts to already existing powers on a one-to-one basis.
For instance, you could add area of effect to a skill.
That's cool.
So there's probably power stunts that we'll see later that give us a full...
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, reusing attributes. That's interesting because I don't know what that means. Attributes can normally be used only once per round. Interesting. Okay. Either for attack or defense. A character can reuse an attribute by expending a competency dice. A character who has already attacked with super strength, for example, could spend a competency dice to defend with super strength in the same round. I'm sure that'll make more sense as we learn more about
what an attribute is.
No, like how the rounds work. Attributes. I mean, attributes are. I guess we didn't see those, did we?
I went back up and looked.
Are they not on the character sheet? No.
Nope.
How interesting.
It's like that'll make a lot more sense when we know what
we'll find out.
That is.
We'll find out.
It keeps saying attribute, but I almost think it means something else. Maybe it is somewhere else.
It must be. Fighting. So superheroes battle supervillains. Did we already finish everything we need? Yeah, we looked at all the competency stuff. Okay. So yeah, fighting. Superheroes battle supervillains. Repel alien invasion, slug it out with gangsters, war against Nazis, and even fight each other. No matter how you slice it, combat is an integral part of superhero fiction. So you set the scene. The judge, who I guess is the DM, I did see that earlier. So I'm the judge, which is cool. Order! I'm going to do that a lot when we're playing.
Need to.
It'd be fun.
To remind people that you're the judge.
Maybe I should dress up. When combat is about to begin, the judge should describe the scene, obviously. Once scene has been set, action begins. Rounds. Combat takes place in rounds. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. How much time passes during a round is purposefully left vague to provide narrative flexibility. There, as long as I need to. Okay, so it's pretty much, yeah, all right. It's in flux. I know we're glassing over some stuff, and as, like, if you're a layman, you might be like, hey, what does that mean? I mean, rounds are almost always flexible between, like, 5-10 seconds, you know? It's always kind of...
Yeah, I think it's in Dungeons and Dragons, I guess, which is kind of the staple. It's a 6-second round. But even that goes to game master discretion. If you're in a chase scene, it may not be 6 seconds. You may be on a straightaway on a sprint for a whole minute or so.
Yeah, nobody's counting. Nobody's counting the time. Be like, hey, that took 140 seconds. But the moon is, I don't know, you know, it's just...
If you got somebody counting at your table, then you have an interesting table.
Yeah. So initiative, yes. This involves making a reaction, super speed, or super sense check. Interesting. Combatants take their turn in accordance with the results. Ties are resolved by comparing reaction ratings. Characters with higher values go first. If characters are still tied, reaction is rolled, and blah, blah, blah. Okay.
They also said that in this game, sort of similar to the Savage Worlds setup, that initiative can be fluid. It's up to the game master, so you can make us re-roll after every round to switch up the orders.
I did enjoy that about Savage Worlds because, like, that caused villains to go back to back. Sometimes you guys got to go back to back, and that can really affect gameplay in
I know that
interesting
it's
way.
Not like written anywhere, but in my mind, I have this idea that like maybe you roll for initiative the first time, and then after that, it's everybody's quickness modifier. That way, whoever gets the jump gets it. But after that, it's the people who were quick. They're going to be the quick ones. They're in order where they need to be. So it's
I don't hate that. I
I
don't hate that, but I do understand the frustration of the slower characters always going last. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I do get that, and Savage Worlds fixed that, and I liked it. But I'm not against standard initiative. Actions. Several kinds of actions exist. The table below lists the actions and explains, okay. The split action boost modifies how many actions a character can take in a round. Interesting. So there's dynamic, defense, movement, and free. These are important, so we will get into it. Dynamic. Dynamic actions are used to actively do something in a round. Dynamic actions include attack actions and concerted aptitude checks as determined by the judge. Generally, characters can take one dynamic action per round. Dynamic actions always end a character's round. Interesting. So once you do the thing, you're done. Defensive actions are performed in response to attack actions. Characters can defend as many times as they are attacked in a round. Okay, interesting. Movement actions are used to get around. Obviously, generally, characters can take one movement per round. Movement actions must be taken before dynamic or not at all. Interesting. So the answer to the question, can I move after I attack, is no.
No.
Fair. Using a movement power to get around doesn't preclude its use for attack or defense that round. That is also worth noting. And then free actions are actions that don't cost character anything. Free actions include making checks at the judge's behest, such as awareness. I love that. I'm always so annoyed with games that are like, oh, you have to take your full action to do a perception check. It's like, that just discourages people from trying to think. And it discourages, I don't like it. So this is better. D&D is one such system. Major action to drink a potion. Get the fuck out of here. Making short speeches or statements during a fight and activating or deactivating powers. Powers can either be activated or deactivated during a round, but not both. Generally, characters take their free action on their initiative.
Hey, check this out. They do social attacks in this game.
That's a weird picture. I don't know what it is about that picture that's off to me.
The guy on the right is really uncomfortable.
Yeah. It looks like they both look like they have to poop. Social attacks.
You roll a defense.
Okay.
So you can be attacked physically, in which case you will roll composure, fortitude, or reaction. But you can also be attacked socially, which you can only defend with composure. And then there's mental attacks that you can defend with composure and will, which I think is kind of cool. Yeah, I like the idea of the social attacks. Like a powerful behemoth that's screaming in your face with an intimidation check, like this guy up ahead. You have to defend against that. You imagine the amount of composure you have to keep not to be terrified by this guy leaping out of the bushes at night?
It's not night. He's just in front of the sun.
This guy at the bottom right's nice and composed.
Characters can normally be attacked once per round and may only do so, blah, blah, blah. Oh, can normally attack once per round, sorry. Characters with the split action, blah, blah, blah. They mentioned that earlier. Defending. When attacked, characters select an appropriate attribute with which to defend. They can only make one defense roll per attack launched against them, and the attribute they choose must be one they have not used for attack or defense. But they mentioned that earlier.
Go. That's the thing that you can do with the thing.
Yeah. If you attack with super strength, you cannot defend with super strength unless you spend competency.
And if you defend apparently, if you were to defend with composure, you can't defend with composure again?
No, you can. It's just you can't if you have... Well, actually... Ooh, no, you're right. Okay, so they can only make one defense roll per attack launched against them, and the attribute they choose must be one they have not used for attacks or defense earlier in this round. So you're right. So if you attack somebody and they want to defend with super strength, they spend a competency dice. If they don't have any, they can't do it again. So you can target like something to like keep
like
the
if you're fighting a super strength guy, then your first guy attacks. He uses his super strength to defend, and then now the rest of your squad can attack him, and he can't use that super strength to defend.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you attack his fortitude and then his what is the other one? You can attack both of his mental stats, right? And then the third person could mentally blast the crap out of him because he wouldn't have that defense in his pocket still.
It's interesting. This is interesting. I will say. So, I mean, we've reviewed several games so far in this series, and this one's like system itself is very different from any game. I like it.
I like this too. Actually, I'm pretty drawn to this. This is a pretty cool system.
I think it's pretty cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to get into character creation. I'm excited already. All right.
Yeah, I am too. If you go down just a little bit to the bottom of page 17, it shows how damage works. Since it's a dice pool game, if you succeed by 6, you do a double damage. If you succeed by 12 or more, or you do 3, and then 4 at 18. 5
Where's that at? Oh, damage.
To the bottom
Okay.
of page 17. So basically, you do your damage, and if you raise it by 6, you double it. For every time you raise it by 6, you add an extra D of damage.
Yeah, so the sections on physical attacks, social attacks, mental attacks, those are all kind of, we've already went through that mostly. But I would like to take a look. Flexible defense, a wide variety of defense options. Okay, so you can finagle and be like, hey, I feel like I could use this. Okay, that's what that's saying. Then no viable defense.
It actually says, if a player's explanation is plausible and adds to the excitement of the game, the judge should probably give approval.
Yeah, so this game operates a lot of rule of cool, and that's how I run anyways, so I like it. For those of you who don't know...
the rule, because we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, rule of cool is the philosophical belief that GMs should allow things that make the game more fun to happen, even if they're not rules as written. So, yeah. But yeah, no viable defense. Given the flexibility of narrative, characters will usually be able to muster some sort of defense, even if it's only a 1D aptitude. In the event that the defense options are exhausted, defenders roll a half a dice for defense. Interesting. So you always get one. So essentially you're going to be rolling a D3, which means, 1 and 2 is 1, 3 and 4 is 2, and 5 and 6 is 3. For those of you who don't know how D3s work. In instances where targets are unconscious or otherwise completely incapacitated, attackers resolve their attacks against a target number of 1. Which they're pretty much guaranteed to hit. So. Resolving attacks, yeah. So we already talked about the damage, and then the levels of success doing extra damage is cool. So essentially, like, if you glancing blow somebody, because like I hate it in like D&D when you hit somebody by 1, like you barely make it through their armor, and then you do max damage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can explain it narratively, like you slipped it through like just a hole in the armor, but that usually, to me, is a better hit, But in this, the better you hit, the more damage you do. It's very cool. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at applying damages. So it says each die of damage dealt is subtracted from the target's resistance.
Yes.
In most cases, characters who suffer more than 1 die of damage may choose to spread the damage among several resistances. So that kind of answers our question earlier as to when you just start blasting the crap out of somebody, they can start spreading the damage to their other resistances to keep you from toppling them, I guess.
Yes.
Which is good.
In response to the damage. But the attacks are still very help get through the resistance in the first place.
Yes, they absolutely do. I was just curious how this would keep players from just steamrolling bad guys by targeting resistances, and this is how. because you take the hit to the resistance, but then after that initial hit, you can spread it out so you're not totally boned. It does say that physical harm is subtracted from composure, fortitude, or reaction, and that social is subtracted from your composure, that mental is from composure or will. But we sort of went over that already. This breaks down a lot of different things here. I guess these are all still different attacks. Reaction damage and initiative, knockback, critical strikes, recoveries, and then it gets into combat maneuvers. I am curious about reaction damage, though. What reaction actions, if they exist. Characters that suffer reaction damage must re-roll their initiatives at the beginning of their next round. Oh.
There you go. I like that.
I like that, too.
I like that.
Knockback. A staple of the superhero genre is that heroes get knocked around. Characters in supers fly back 5 feet per 1d taken in fortitude damage. So if you want to start knocking people around, there's literally the rules for it right there. And they continue on the next page. They're actually pretty cool.
Okay, so knockback just always happens. I like that.
Yes, and so if you want to be the guy who's blasting people around, then, you want to be doing fortitude damage, right? And you want to be doing pushes, because that's how that works in this system. Extra knockback boost doubles knockback distance, so that's a thing you can get. Page 75, it says that there's a boost for that. The super strength power is considered to have 1 free die of extra knockback per die in the power. So yeah, you can be the guy who slaps people around. That's exactly the vibe I was getting.
Hell yeah. Nah, that's cool. If you're the super strength guy, like, you hit somebody, they go flying.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Combat maneuvers. Break, called shot. Let me know if you want to hear about any of these, John. Break, called shot, critical strike is a combat maneuver, apparently. Full attack, full defense, grappling attack, interrupt action, take 1 for the team. So probably critical strike, right? That's a strange combat maneuver to choose.
I would like to, before that, I would like to, called shot is always done so differently in systems.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask for a called shot.
And I never fully know what to tell them. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I get it. You aim for the head. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, people are generally, they aim for the head. I'm going to shoot him right in the head, right in the head, right in the head. It's like, well, if you shoot everybody, right in the head, you're going to have to be a better shot, right? At some point, you can't just keep saying you're going to shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
Called shot, especially with the success of Hawkeye right now, and me wanting to play a bow guy because I've been.
You want to play a bow guy? That's crazy.
I've been playing so.
Never thought I'd hear the day.
Far Cry. Oh, I also used to love Hawkeye before the movies.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm an original Avengers purple Hawkeye fan. I loved the part in the show where she showed him the outfit she's mocking up, and it's his old fucking purple superhero costume. That was great, man.
That was great.
That's a harmless spoiler. Everyone will be okay.
Creating
they did it in WandaVision too.
Creating an effect that lasts 1 round requires a major success. Examples include throwing sand into the opponent's face and causing momentary blindness, or knocking a sword from their hand. Okay, 1 sec. I need to digest that.
All their shots to achieve effects other than damage. That's what a called shot does. It is adding CC.
I like that a lot because I don't like it when people use it to try to insta-kill people. It's not my favorite.
So you can use it. I mean, if you want to insta-kill, you can blind somebody. You can suffocate somebody. So I guess if you wanted to use it to insta-kill, you could like shoot a foam arrow at somebody's mouth, right? And so now they have a chance to save against it, but it is an insta-kill if they don't save.
It can be, but I just like the fact that I don't like it when people are just like, oh, I shot him in the head. It's like, the only time I want call shots is when there's an obvious weakness, or you discovered a weakness, or it's a zombie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I'm totally on board.
Yeah.
I get it. Critical strike. This is one I was curious about. Characters can attempt to exploit their target's weak points in order to do more damage. In essence, this is the damaging version of a called shot. Hey, what do you know? To pull this off, characters reduce the number of dice used in their attack, but add twice as many dice to their total of purpose for damage if they hit. Reducing the initial attack roll by 1d, for example, would allow our character to add 2d to the result of determining damage if the attack is successful.
It's interesting. Because of the way that hitting better can turn into good damage. Interesting. I will say interesting. Full attack.
Characters can engage in a full attack, receiving a 1 damage bonus to attack roll. Characters who choose to do so commit fully to offense for the round, thereby depriving themselves of the focus and finesse necessary to execute defensive maneuvers that require any measure of intentionality. As a consequence, they can only rely on appropriate resistances for defense until their next action. There's some more flavor and explanation under that, but I think we get the gist of that as well. And full defense looks like it's going to be the reverse version of the same thing. If you've yet to take a dynamic action, you can get a plus 1d bonus to all of your defense rolls until your following initiative.
I don't know how to feel about the fact that that is the Hulk.
No, it isn't. He's got pants on and boots.
It's just the Hulk, man. It's so... Oh, man, that's funny. That's funny.
We usually review these systems towards the end, how we feel about them. I've got to tell you, the art in this book.
Some of it I like, some of it's funny.
It's got a charm to it, but I'm a shit artist, okay? Look, I can't do better, okay? So if you're going to tell me to do better, I can't. It would be much worse, but I do think that they could have gotten a better artist for some of this.
Some of it's interesting, but it looks like they have a large art team.
That's true. And this particular... It's page 22, Jahan.
Page 20 looks like that one was drawn by Joe Singleton.
Get to 22. You're gonna die in the face. The blurred hands because the fingers weren't great, the thin knees, and then the face under the mask all squished in.
Yeah.
This is just very good.
It's not great.
The next one on the next page.
The one above it is drawn by the same person, and it's better.
Shit.
So that's interesting.
Yes, that's correct. And then this next one down, this guy who has a lizard across him, lizard lad. He's got a particularly good look.
Yeah, I mean it is. Hey, it is what it is. We don't need to read examples of play.
Lizard lad on page 23. And
that guy's name is Doc Rock.
The guy on the page above him, Doc Rock, on 22 and 23, they have the exact same leg outline.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like there was stenciled legs.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
All right, we finally made it to character creation, page 25. This is where we wanted to be. All right, now I'm done bashing the art. I do like the systems of what we've seen so far, and I like the character sheets of what we've seen. I'm excited to get into the character customization.
Yeah. So, where do we start? Character concept, obviously. Then there's archetypes, and they have a pretty good list. The art on 26 is good.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And so is the art on 27. But it looks like it's by the same person, so that's interesting. So backgrounds and origins. Creation pool. Resistances. Okay. So I'm just looking at what the steps are. Aptitudes.
Yeah, real quick.
Okay. See, that same guy did a picture on page 35 as well, and it's good. It's a good picture. All right. Okay. So I guess we're gonna let's start playing around with some character stuff.
Yeah, man. Let's look at the archetypes first off and see if they inspire in any way. Animal avatar. Battle Suit, Blaster, Brick, Construct, Crime Fighter, Elemental Controller, Energy Controller, Gadgeteer, Martial Artist, Mentalist, Mimic, Paragon, Shapeshifter, Sorcerer, Speedster, Warrior, and Weapon Master. Any of those jump out at you?
A few of them.
What are you feeling? What do you want to go? What do you want to go touch?
So it seems that Brick is their big strong guy.
I'm feeling Battle Suit.
There's also Warrior that could be what?
Battle Suit.
Battle Suit's good, man. That's what I was going last time, and I liked it. I had a hypothetical. Someone was asking if you had a suit like that, but like it just had like basic powers, and you could add 3 to it. What would you pick? And I made mine teleport, and it was cool.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
So after I guess those archetypes are they're just inspiration. They don't actually do anything. So you go down to the next part, and this is backgrounds and origins. It talks about your power sources, and I think this might just be more flavor here because of the way the character sheet is so simple and so streamlined. This is more to just get you thinking. The power sources are altered human, android/robot, artifact, high-tech, non-human, magical, mutant, and special training.
I wonder if those have things to them too, or if they're just.
I think these are just more flavor.
Maybe, and I'm fine with that.
I am too, and it's actually so that was just character concept. That was the huge bold blue text that was under, and so yeah, that's just conceptual. Now we get into the creation pool.
You should be a battle suit mutant. It like comes from inside you. You're like, ah.
Well, I want to be a battle suit artifact.
That's cool. Yeah, you find like an ancient alien suit, like that's Blue Beetle. That's Blue Beetle. Fuck yeah! All right.
I want to find like an ancient dwarven mech though. You're just stuck in like a stone and wood mech.
Oh, that's funny. That could be cool. Creation pool. Characters and supers are custom built. All characters start with a creation pool, which is a number of dice used to purchase the various attributes that define a character's abilities. As mentioned in Chapter 2, these attributes include aptitudes, powers, with boosts and complications. So the attributes that we were wondering about earlier are everything.
Yes, apparently so.
Which, okay, now it makes a little more sense. Characters may add additional creation dice to the creation pools by taking disadvantages. I love it when systems do that. Characters are typically built with a creation pool of 20 dice. Judges, however, might decide to start campaigns higher or lower.
So 20 dice puts you in the superhero description power level category.
Yes.
The 4 levels are Pulp Hero, Superhero, Global Guardian, and Cosmic Legend. And so, as usual, I would probably lean more towards the Pulp Hero and say, let's just build up and make our guys stronger later. But Superhero puts you in, you're not too weak. Pulp is almost super, or sidekick level, it says. Street level people and sidekick level heroes.
Yeah. Pretty much anyone when they're just starting out.
Which is really, again, that's what I want to do. You and I are both huge fans of My Hero Academia, and we would like to do the, getting your powers.
Young Justice.
Your powers. Yes, growing your powers. Almost Young Justice. That season, it just gets worse.
You didn't like that season, yeah, I know.
I liked season 1.
Yeah.
Season 2 was pretty good. Season 3 was worse, and season 4 is worse.
Season 4 changes from what is happening at your point, but anyways.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more about Young Justice, tune into our podcast. Fresh Out the Podcast, now on Spotify now.
The point is, we like superheroes.
We like superheroes. Yeah. So, resistances. Characters have 4. In gameplay, they serve 2 functions. First, they can be used to defend. Second, they are reduced as a consequence of damage. So each resistance begins at 1d. Characters can spend creation dice to raise their resistances beyond their starting values on a 1-to-1 basis.
All right.
That's very simple. That is very simple. Characters can also apply boosts, complications, and trade-offs to their resistances, which are on page 73, 79, and 83 below. It's a description. Okay, well, I mean, I think we understand. And then it tells you what everything is. So 1 is average, 7 is legendary.
Jump down that list. I was kind of curious what this would mean in the resistances section. If your composure takes enough damage and your composure reaches 0, your character might fly into a fit of rage or become tongue-tied or flustered or even surrender. Taking composure damage is things like when you become more scared, more angry, or more embarrassed.
Yeah, it says that when any of the resistances go to 0, you can be incapacitated.
So that's kind of how that would happen in the world of flavor.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're
good.
You can keep going with your list. I just saw that was in there and wanted to make sure that, with the different types of damage, how do you, as a game master, handle those different things?
They also do something I like where they give each one a chart and explain what that is, to give you scope. So 3 dice, exceptional, world leaders, spies, undercover agents. So just to kind of give you an idea there. 3 dice is actually really good. Anything above that is impressive. It says 4 is peak human perfection. So anything beyond 4 is inhuman. Fair. And then 5 is superhuman, blah, blah, blah.
6 is archangels, demon princes, and world-class paragons. And then 7 is just like universe-spanning godlike overlords. Love it.
Yeah, so I'm going...
composure. And so there's actually another list below.
There is another list for each one.
That's fortitude, right?
Yeah.
And so in the same vein of when your composure reaches 0, when your fortitude reaches 0, you are beaten, you're battered, you're knocked out, you're incapable of taking actions. And those are things like being punched, burned, shot, shocked, and otherwise. And these are the same thing. It goes from value 1 dice all the way up to value 7. Like you said, level 3 is exceptional. Level 4 is the peak of human perfection. And then it does the same thing for will. And when you're taking will damage, it's your ability to kind of think and act for yourself. So if your will reaches 0, you fall in victim to mental assaults, and you have to obey another's command, or in the cases of mind control and possession, or you could even fall unconscious or go insane.
And it's cool because all of these can reflect the various ways that villains can defeat you.
And you know that I'm always looking for a possession character. That's something I'm interested in. And right there on the list it says it's will, right? If your will goes down, you can get possessed. So I already know that I'm looking for a mentalist and mental blasts, that type of thing.
It also, there's a little yellow box that says, death in supers. Death is rare in superhero fiction. When it happens, it's usually dramatic and almost never final. See Chapter 4 for suggestions on how to handle that. So, this is the kind of game where you're going to get beaten, but you're going to come back. So I like that, because a lot of people, both DMs and players, when those hit points go down, they're like, oh, game over. Not always. You know what I mean? Warhammer.
A lot of people think that when the HP gets to 0, that you've reached the end of the road and the scene is over and you've lost. But it really just means that now the scene has a new complication and the story has a chance to grow instead of dead ending. It doesn't have to go to death. It's almost a cop-out.
Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game was actually really cool with that. Gary, you have been doomed. For those of you who don't know, that we have a Boon and Doom system for when we're actually playing. Hi, Cap. How you doing? Looking at supers. But yeah. So let's go down to aptitudes.
These aptitudes almost read like skills to me. What I would generally call a skill. The aptitudes listed here are academia, aircraft, animal handling, arts and crafts, athleticism, awareness, business, intrusion, fighting, investigation, medical, military, occultism, performance, presence, survival, technology, vehicle shooting, sleight of hand, streetwise. Well, and that's it. And these are listed the same way as the other skills that we talked about, from
There
a
are
1 die all the way up to a 7 die.
I'm reading, and there are some differences, though. It says that they cap at a result of 18.
Okay.
No matter how many dice you have. So, but let me try to figure out why. Because they are meant to be mundane in comparison to powers, aptitudes are limited in what they can achieve. A character who purchases an aptitude above 3 dice must choose to specialize, meaning that any dice above 3 dice only apply to particular skills within a broader category. Okay, fair.
Sort of. I only sort of understand, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Cap wanted to stop in and say thank you for recommending Gallant Knight Games Wastelands to us. He's playing it with his students. That's very cool. And awesome. We also will be looking at Tiny Supers by Gallant Knight Games soon.
Yes, that's right. We just got it. We have it.
It looks promising.
It does look promising.
It looks very promising. I am excited for that. So stay tuned for Supers. Like and follow.
It looks better than Cypher System.
Yeah. Cypher System was weird. I didn't like it. I
would try it, but I'm not sure I like it.
I would play it for sure. I would play anything, but...
I am the blank who blanks.
No, I am the blank who blanks blank.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I am the noun who verbs something. I forget. Whatever.
Untrained aptitudes. Can a character fly a plane if they're not trained? Yeah, sure. It might take like a two dice to fly a plane, right? If you're trained. Novice characters would have a 1 die, so you might still be able to get it off the ground. But if you're trying to beat a moderate check or something with weather and the difficulty becomes 6, it makes it pretty unlikely that you might succeed at all when you're rolling, 1 die.
I think it's kind of weird that you start with 1 dice in each aptitude.
This is sort of when you would use competency dice, it says. They would allow you to pull off something impossible. So you add, let's see, every character begins with training. You'd find a situation where you need to escape, so you could... I'm not seeing where it says what the competency die, how you would use it to.
What are you looking at? Where are you?
It's a yellow paragraph on page 37. And at the end of the second paragraph, it says you can use your competency die to pass something that had target number 6 if you only had 1D training in an aircraft. But I don't know how you would add that many die or that many positive points, that many results with a competency die.
You can add more than 1.
Oh, okay.
Competency dice are this system's version of like hero points, and they give you a dice, which I like a lot. I enjoy that. Here's the dice.
We give you disadvantages when we take them, right?
I don't know. I didn't see that, but maybe.
I think you can trade competency dice for disadvantage.
Oh yeah, you can make it cause advantage or disadvantage.
Okay. Also, you can create your own aptitudes. The example it gives is gambling.
Yeah. So academia, aircraft, animal handling, arts and crafts, athleticism, awareness, business, fighting, intrusion, investigation, medical, military, occultism, performance, presence, shooting, sleight of hand, streetwise, survival technology, vehicles are the examples they give. Later, Cap. Have a good one.
Bye, Cap. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Powers are next. Powers are what it's all about. That picture is interesting. That's a beefy Wonder Woman, bro. Powers.
I love the holes in the thighs.
Yeah, look at that. You gotta let them boys breathe.
Good. So these powers, are these example powers?
I don't know. Although some superheroes find their edge through blah, blah, blah. Characters can spend dice from their creation pool to purchase dice in these powers, usually on a one-to-one basis. Characters can also modify these powers by applying boosts, complications, and trade-offs to them. Fair. Below are descriptions of the available powers, along with explanations of how they work. The explanations should not be taken as exhaustive. They are simply examples. Okay, so yes, these are the powers. I wish it had a list. I always like just a solid list to look at.
Yeah, instead of having to scroll through each and every one.
But let's go through them. Absorption. Absorb energy from attacks. Okay. Additional limbs, obvious. Armor, obvious.
Astral projection.
Yeah.
This covers astral form invisibility as well. So, movement and damage to body. And of course, astral combat. Burrowing, communication, damaging aura, density control, lifting, dimensional travel, duplicate self, which I'm a big fan of, duplicate self.
Same.
Which you can power boost those to have a telepathic link or willful duplicates. After that is elemental control, elemental forms, energy control, emotional control. Man, there's a lot under energy. Energy has attack, defense, intensity, immunities, manipulate, additional energy types, so you can boost it and add other energy types. In energy form has a lot of those same things. You have immunities, you have movements for energy form, you have special damage types you can do, and additional damage types. You can also choose a power complication, which is only in energy form, and I guess that means your power can your power can only be used if you flame on, so to say. That's cool.
Yeah, no, that is cool.
After that is ensnare, the power to trap opponents, something like sticky webs or ice or glue arrows. Flight, healing, illusion, imbue, insubstantiability, invisibility, which also covers detecting invisible folk, invulnerability, life support. Is that under invulnerability, or is that its own power? It's its own power. Life support. You protects characters from exceptionally inhospitable environments.
Yeah, like Darwin or certain variations of the Iron Man suit have life support systems. Like the God suit, he can go into space.
So here it has a little sidebar: life support versus invulnerability. Life support does not grant immunity to any kind of direct attack, only normal environmental conditions. At best, it allows characters to use a power as a defense against a target attack or an extreme environmental condition. If characters wish to be entirely invulnerable to a particular type of attack, they should purchase the invulnerability power, not the life support power.
That's fair. I don't know, man. That's how you, like, life support means you can go in the ocean, you go into space, you go into a volcano.
Yes. Mental blast, mental paralysis, mental shield, mimic aptitude, mimic energy, mimic power, mimic substance, obscure. Huh. Is obscure just hiding people?
Yeah. You can produce an effect that obscures a sense specified when the power is purchased. So you can do mental obscure, or a like fog. You could hide people that way. You can make people not smell if you wanted to. You know,
dude, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Physical paralysis, plant control, lifting. No, that's something plants do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
After plant control, there's power steal, probability control with a power complication. Only bad luck can be applied to probability control, limited in a way so you can only create bad consequences for those targeted.
If you take that specification.
Yes, if you take that complication. I like that. That's a funny thing. After probability control is regeneration, which I think speaks for itself. then shape change, then size control.
Like it.
We're looking at stretching.
Ooh, size control has a giant section.
It does.
Holy crap.
Also, you can choose power-specific complications there, so you can only grow or only shrink, if you'd like.
And I assume go back to your normal size.
Yes, that's correct. But like, if you're, some people can be a grower or a shrinker. So the next one is stretching, which I don't think is referring to yoga. I think it's more of a Mr. Fantastic type of situation.
Yeah, there's a picture of him right there fighting a wishing troll.
And then summoning is next. Characters this power can summon
wishing trolls. They covered both in one picture. I think that's pretty smart.
I like the idea of summoning. I'm all about it. Always have been, always will be. Next is super aptitude, then super brain, then super leap, then super running, and then super science, which gives you a gadget pool and lets you create gadgets. Super senses, super speed, super strength, super swimming, super weaponry, telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation, transformation, vampirism. Well, shit.
That's vampirism, a power?
Yeah, you can drain people's resistances and add them to your own. Time control and vampirism. That's a cool page. Let's see.
Time control has super speed in it.
Yeah, I guess it does, doesn't it?
Well, it has a version of super speed.
Mm-hmm.
Wall crawling.
After vampirism, I was going to say, yeah. Wall crawling, weather control, and then it looks
Wizardry.
It looks like the last one on the list is Wizardry. It says Wizardry is different from other powers. Characters with this power can accomplish a vast array of feats, performing simple tricks to replicate any power imaginable. Oh, wow.
What happened?
So I'm looking at this. So you're going to have to do a wizardry check first, which other people obviously aren't going to have to make a wizardry check first. They can just do their power. Characters who succeed at that wizardry check can choose to use the replicated power that same round. Characters who fail the wizardry check or who choose not to use the replicated power that round lose the dynamic action for this round. Okay. So you replicate powers. You just have a different cost structure.
Ooh, that's super complicated, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's not something...
Powers replicated may be purchased with boost and complications. Boost and complications, however, affect the value of the power for the purpose of making wizardry checks. Energy control, fire, 3 dice, boost, area of effect 1d, for example, would count as a 4d power and would require matching or beating a target number of 12 to replicate. So you need to make a list. If anyone's playing a wizard, I would require them to make a list of powers and their costs before we play, because I am not having people crafting spells on the spot and like wasting everybody's time.
Yeah, not live on the stream.
That's gonna take a while.
So earlier, Jahan, we talked about boosts, right? About using your power points, whatever, to do boosts. These are the boosts.
Yeah.
And again, I wish they were in a nice, concise list for us. So
I do too, with just the cost. Yeah.
But here we are. You can boost the target's effect. You can boost it to area effect. You can have extra effect versus X. So versus a particular material type or a particular attribute.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Vampire Bites. This is Supers from Hazard Studios.
Supers. Yes, we're liking Supers.
I like it so far. It does seem like from a system standpoint that it could be incredibly unbalanced. But hey, superhero games are like that. It does seem kind of more narrative anyways, so it's okay.
There are lots and lots of boosts, John. Lots and lots of boosts.
Area, extra effect when, extra knockback, lingering effects, linked power, multi-power. Ooh, what's multi-power? power purchased with this boost can be changed into another power specified when the boost is taken. The secondary power has a rating equivalent to that of the base power. Powers purchased with multi-power may only be used once per round. As it normally the case, multi-power may be purchased multiple times. I don't know what that is. Is that like being able to turn, I don't know, your fireball into a smoke blast for one turn or something? I don't know. It's interesting. Yes. Does it add a mutability? All right. Persistent damage and ongoing effects. Cool. Reflection. Shareable. Split action. What's reflection? Okay. Split action. They were talking about split action earlier. Triggers. So power with trigger can be set off when certain conditions are met. Trigger 1 dice allows a character to set a single trap. This number doubles every time after the first. Okay. Variable effects. A power with variable effects can manifest in a number of different ways. Interesting. Hey, look at that hot girl. Complications.
Complications are modifiers that can be attached to powers, making them less effective or more difficult to use in certain situations. As compensation for these restrictions, powers purchased with complications receive a dice bonus to their rating, equivalent to the value of the complication. Alternatively, the dice bonus gained from the complications may be applied towards purchasing up to an equivalent value in boosts for the power in question. Unless otherwise noted, complications have a value of 1d. At the judge's discretion, complications can also be added to resistances, aptitudes, and in some cases, advantages. So some of the complications that you can pick up are always on. Ammo/charges, like, Spider-Man's initial movement, web slinging. He used to have ammo charges for that. A fun complication to have that they haven't really toyed with. Burnout. The power gets less effective. Concentration is needed for the power. Conditional, debilitating, delayed use. Your power is a device. Judge's discretion is actually one of the complications. Powers purchased with judge's discretion.
Your camera's off.
Oh, cool. Let me take care of that.
I don't know when that happened. I just noticed. There you go.
Yeah, I'm back. Hello. Judge's discretion. Powers purchased with judge's discretion cannot be activated by the player. They can only be brought into play by the judge.
I like that. That's interesting. You can give...
Man. Yeah. Jahan, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Give all of us that.
Probably.
Yeah, everyone has it as part of the setting.
That could be cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Limited use. The power has limited use, Negated by X. Only in hero ID. So your hero, if he's a scrawny kid, for example, must be able to speak the word kablam to become the globe's greatest guardian. Only versus X. Side effect, touch attack, uncontrollable, or even unreliable. If you have an uncontrollable power, Jahan, there's actually, it looks like there is a roll chart.
Oh, I like that.
I know how you like roll charts for people who accidentally do things they don't mean to do with uncontrollable powers.
I also like, powers that go out of hand, like the wild magic table. I really enjoy.
When the power malfunctions, the judge rolls 2d and consults the table below, or the judge can come up with their own effect. Generally, the uncontrolled effect is in some way related to the power. So what you're looking at here, the examples are Supernova, Backlash Power Swarm, Control Power Swarm, Huge Area, Extra Target, Random Target, Wrong Target, diluted, weakened, overpowered, or locked and overloaded. The power for that one doubles its intensity and cannot be turned off. Whoo, that could be fun. Give it to a flight character and they just fly straight into space and die. I can't stop! I can't stop!
That's kind of funny. Never stop flying. I like it. And then there's also trade-offs.
What are trade-offs?
Some aspects of power should work more effectively than others. This is where trade-offs come in. Trade-offs lower one aspect of a power by 1d in exchange for increasing it in another way by 1. At the judge's discretion, which is me, trade-offs can also be applied to resistances and aptitudes. Might apply the weak but agile trade-off to the athleticism. Okay. So it's like your fireballs are strong, but like your fire aura is weaker. I don't know. Kind of thing. I think.
And then advantages is next. Allies. Oh, I like this. So this is going to be more flavor, right? Possibly. Those were complications. These are advantages.
You do spend character creation points to do these, though.
I very much like that.
I do, too. Yeah, no, allies. So, like, that was one of the things I always loved about White Wolf, is that your points that you use, both when you're, like, gaining experience and when you're building your character, are spent on these kinds of things. Like, money, allies, hookups, that kind of thing. And I've always really enjoyed that.
We've got allies, alter ego, animal friendship, attractive, base of operations, aptitudes, celebrity, charismatic, companion, dumb luck, feign death. This one is called I Brought This Along. It allows a character to declare that they just happen to have the tool or device for the situation at hand. Instant change. You can instantly change, like, you know, you do the spin, woo, and now you're in costume.
Oh, damn, I thought you could, like, always have change for $1.
Take $1 and you pull it, it turns into 4 quarters in your hand.
Be exciting.
After instant change is intimidating. Is that your best shot? Leadership, mentor, non-sentience. Characters with this advantage are emotionless automatons that run off programs or sets of commands. Examples include robots, elementals, golems, or zombies. The next one after non-sentience is occupation, police power, security clearance, size big, size small, Omni Translator, super vehicle, unliving, water breathing, wealthy, and then we get into
I didn't see Omni Translator. Oh, there it is.
Yep, it was kind of tucked in there also. I saw it at the last second. An Omni Translator allows you to speak, read, write, and understand all of the languages.
Yeah, you can make some pretty interesting characters in this system.
Yes, you certainly can. Then we're on to the
disadvantages. Yeah. There are drawbacks that add hardship and drama to the lives of superheroes. Disadvantages subtract value from a character's overall cost unless otherwise specified. Disadvantages have a value of 1d, so they subtract 1d from a character's overall cost, which is cool. Accidental transformation. Characters with this disadvantage change into their superhero or supervillain forms without intending to, in certain circumstances. That's fun. Addiction. Less fun, but interesting. Bane likes Venom. Bad luck. Dependent enemy.
I like bad luck. The judge gets to tell you to re-roll one of your rolls that session.
Just always? Once per session? That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, man, I like that a lot, actually.
I do, too.
I like that a lot. That's a good one.
I'll probably take that one for you.
That's a good one, man.
That's a fun one.
Mental hindrance. Gotta be careful with that one. Oh, there's a list. Thank God. Thank God.
Yes.
I've had players, man. You've seen it. Bloodthirsty, kleptomania, cowardly, duty, glory hound, honor bound, intolerance, low self-esteem, overconfidence, pride, reckless vain. And those are fine. Those are all fine.
I read intolerance also, and it's not as bad as it sounds either. A character might be intolerant to breaking the law,
okay,
or communism, or a group of extraterrestrial monsters or something that he doesn't want to get.
So you could make it racism, but please don't. I don't want that in my table.
I guess we could, but yeah.
Well, that's what a group is. A group could be, an ethnic group.
If you're playing Star Trek and you're in the Star Trek world, I understand having a distrust for Klingons based on what era you're playing in, but we're not trying to play a game
That's
based
fair.
on racism.
That's fair, but at the same time, not liking Klingons is racist.
Yeah, it is. It's like I said, it's not the setting we're playing in at this time.
Phobias, physical hindrances. This guy has one leg.
He also, if you didn't know, he has the same arm.
Yeah,
the same upper body as the other guy.
He has the same head design. It's interesting.
Got those short arms.
Oh my god, that is.
I love the art in this book.
I'm reminded of when they're about to show something and they're playing theme music, but then it switches to shitty recorder music and it shows the thing.
Like the Avengers theme in a shitty recorder.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the character as a character. It tells a story.
I like the system, okay, but I am here to dump on the art too.
Yeah, the art's not the best. Physical hindrances, and there is a list. Good. Eyesight, minor, major. Mobility, minor, major. Hearing, minor, major. Mute. Old age or infirmity, minor or major.
The worst hindrance of all, poor.
Ooh, that's a good one.
-1D penalty.
What are you, Spider-Man?
What are you, everyone?
Ah, fair. What are you, a millennial?
Power loss.
With your broke ass?
Yeah, right? Just pull yourself up by your
Ooh, power loss is like kryptonite. Characters with disadvantages lose their powers when in the presence of a substance specified when the disadvantage is taken. Excellent. I'm allergic to tungsten.
I'm allergic to helium. Don't
bullets!
Take me to a
my
party.
Only weakness!
Oh no! Oh no! Sharp objects!
God, making an invulnerable character that is only weak to bullets would be hilarious.
I like one who's only weak to bludgeoning damage, so you have to go beat the shit out of him.
And he's all big and strong when he's getting stabbed, and then you're just beating him with a baseball bat. And he's like, "No, stop!" That's really. Oh man, this is fun. All right, public ID. Okay, like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Rage. A secret. Ooh, a secret. Social hindrance.
Can you think of any characters that have the rage hindrance?
Maybe. Social hindrance, unskilled, vulnerability, weakness. All right. Weakness. Disreputable, major, minor, wait. Are these... Doesn't sound like weaknesses.
They almost look like social.
Yeah, they look like they might be part of the social hindrance. Oh, so, yeah, let me read this. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's a table. Okay, this is the social... I was very confused. So, disreputable, minor, major, outsider, minor, primitive, major, ugly, minor, major, strange-looking, minor, major. I like that they make the distinction.
Yeah, between ugly and strange-looking.
Well, that's the difference between...
Success in Hollywood.
Mickey Rourke and Benedict Cumberbatch. You know? Because one of them's ugly, one of them is weird looking. But which one's which?
Character archetypes. Okay, so these archetypes are actually somewhat built already. So I think that... Did we
Oh,
get to the
what?
bottom?
Is that brown line?
Yeah, that is Brown Lion.
the Prince of Watanui?
Animal Avatar, Battle Suit, Blaster, Brick, Construct. We read through these earlier, but here they are as actual...
Oh, they have things.
Yeah, they're built out here. That's what I'm saying. Crime Fighter Mobile, which is not a cell phone service. Elemental Controller Fire, Elemental Controller Shadow, Gadgeteer, Martial Artist, Mentalist, Mimic, Paragon, Shapeshifter, Sorcerer, Speedster, Warrior, Weapon Master.
Hey, that guy on page 99 has the Omnitrix logo on his chest.
Guy on page 99. So he does.
Man, it's cool. So with this system, you could make Ben Tennyson, actually. Which is funny. I was playing that game yesterday, so I was... It was fine. It's not good.
That was it. We read through all of the character creation. Now, here on page 105, I haven't read this whole thing, but it looks like this is like almost a conversational way to build a character. So each and everything that you would need, you just read through here, and it tells you what you're doing and why. On page 105, when it says example of character generation.
Oh, okay.
That is like, if you need to read it for yourself to see how it all works, that talks about how many points you get and how this person spends their points to build their character. And then, Jahan, we get into your section, the Judge's Guide.
Ooh. Okay, so it has target numbers, fine. Necessary. Ooh, material strength.
I saw material strength earlier when we were looking at burrowing, because depending on what level of burrowing you take, it controls what materials you can burrow through.
Interesting. Weapons and armor, very simple. Goes from light antiquated armor to intergalactic assault armor.
Intergalactic planetary!
How is intergalactic assault armor only 4 times better than light armor? But yeah, and then weapons go from small arms to planet-busting beams. But once again, a planet-busting weapon is only 10 times stronger than a handgun. Just to put that scale. But it's fine. This game... So the thing about this game is that... Okay, here we go. It actually says something. Interesting. Design notes. The above numbers might seem a bit low for nuclear bombs and planet-busting beams. But superhero comics are filled with characters who can attack with the power of 1,000,000 suns and still coexist with characters on the battlefield. Okay. Fair. Whatever.
Yeah, I see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's fine. And they're showing that, a nuclear bomb would do it in a huge area of effect, and blah, 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 and, it's different. And that's fair. But yeah, so the thing about this system that I feel is worth noting is that I don't think it's balanced, necessarily, because, in the power section, right, taking Super Brain, I think costs 1 dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it makes you smarter than someone that maxed out academia. You know?
You can be. It doesn't make you smarter. You can be, though. You can roll twice as high.
Oh, is it still a 1-to-1 dice conversion?
Yes.
So you only get 1 point in the Super Brain?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That fixes... I had an issue with that. I was like, man, there's a lot of ways that you could just take this instead of this. Now I get it. They work the same.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Everything is a 1 point buy. Exactly.
So it's not actually... Okay, that's fantastic. That changes everything about what I was thinking. All right, I like this system.
I like this system, too. It's pretty easy. These moving parts work together quite all right.
Page 110 has everything you need for every possible bad guy in, seconds. That's good.
That is good. That's good for you.
That's good. All right, so... Any more? Do we need to read any more of this?
No.
There's a bestiary.
What are our 5 judging rating categories, Jahan?
So our 5 judging rating categories are... Oh, man, I have to double check.
I've got 4 of them, but I actually forgot the 5th one. Truth be told.
Just start saying them.
System, visual, options, and complexity. We should have just saved this on a document somewhere.
No, I mean, I have it written down. I just have to look at it. Don't worry, I have my notes.
I had mine written down, capital had, but since I've cleared out this room for the move, those notes are somewhere. I think they're actually shoved into a backpack in that closet over yonder.
Yeah, system... Oh, setting.
Setting, that's right, setting. This one was kind of setting agnostic.
Yes, but, I mean, setting and theme. Like, setting and... so how does this feel? Does this game, in the way it is written, presented, and in the way that character creation works, and the way that the powers are represented, do they back up the theme? Do you feel like superheroes? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oops, I accidentally gave everything a 1 out of 10. Whoops. I was just writing 1 out of 10 for no reason.
Everyone's like, why are they being so quiet right now?
We are grading. We are going to give this a rake.
We're grading separately what we both think of this system, then we'll find the averages, put them together, and we'll get our fresh out the box score for this system. I have mine.
I think I do too.
So I actually, and my overall rating for this game is only 0.2 higher than what I did for Cypher System. But that being said, it was the art and visuals that brought the average score of this game crashing down on my side. As far as the gameplay goes, if you're not looking for a book full of beautiful superhero art, this is a great game. If you do want beautiful superhero art, this is not the one for you. I went with a 5 out of 10 on the art visual. The layout I thought needed some work. There were the huge sections of paragraphs of powers instead of the simple lists that were broken down or cleaned up. So between the art, the visual, the layout, I gave them a 5 out of 10. It leaves some to be desired, but it is readable. It's not so gross you can't get through it.
I gave it a 4.
Okay. Do you have anything to add? Any other notes that I didn't?
No. So some of the art is actually really good. I like the cover a lot. I like some of the art. Some of the art is boo-boo, unfinished, nothing. Like, it's not good. It's not. Some of it is trash. Some of the art is bad. And it's not like the art. I don't think the artist is going to hear that and be like, "Oh man, like you know that you didn't finish some of these pictures."
Some of them might have been rushed, and
yeah, some of them were rushed. Some of them were, I don't know, man. It looked like one guy got copy and pasted and altered slightly a bunch of times.
So where did you go?
Not great. The organization was not terrible, but yeah, right. There weren't any concise lists. I don't know. It's a 4.
I felt like when we went through Cypher System, it was organized very poorly. And at least in this book, the things are where I think they should be.
Yes, the organization wasn't abhorrent. It was just...
Correct. Left some to be desired.
Yeah.
How's about the system as a whole? What do you think about the dice pool system? And a little bit, I guess, about this isn't the character building so much as it is just the way the system.
Yeah, it's the way the system flows, the way the play. So I'm torn. I'm stuck between 8 and 9. I think the system's really good. I think it works really well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna land on 9. It's not perfect, but as far as systems go, it is a good system, and very important, it's a good system that is different from other games in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously all dice pool systems are going to be similar, but this one does things to stand apart, and I like it.
This is a really narrative system. It seems like there's a lot of things that you pick that are purely flavor, such as your origins and your powers and things like that. I like a narrative system, and it doesn't have a whole lot of bullshittery. You're not going to be flipping through the book and looking
not at all, yeah,
and trying to figure out how to do all this crap. And I gave it an 8 on system, and maybe I should have given it a 9. But at the end of the day, it is a dice pool system, and to me, it doesn't do anything that's like, holy shit, look how they changed this dice pool system. It's just a dice pool system. So I give it an 8. I like it. It works. It functions.
I think it's a dice pool system, and I think it's a dice pool system done very well.
It's a very simply done dice pool system, which I like, but that's going to be in my complexity review. Which let's go to complexity while we're here. I did give it a 9. Because it was just so fucking easy.
I gave it an 8 because it is very easy.
And the reason I gave it a 9, I'll tell you why it wasn't an 8, is because they are a 1-to-1 point buy.
It's fair.
If it had been anything other than a 1-to-1, I probably would have knocked it down a point. Or if they had changed per, like, hey, attributes are this much and powers are this much. It really seems to be pretty cut and dry, pretty easy to understand. I'm going with a 9 complexity. This is an easy game.
This is a very easy game to teach and understand. There is some... I knocked a couple points off because there is some ambiguity in some things. And I got confused a few times. But, hey, it was a first read-through, you know. Overall, the system is one of the easier ones to teach.
We only have 2 categories left, the options that were presented to us and the setting and theme. Which one do you want to get into?
I had to give it up to the options, man. 9 out of 10. You can make pretty much anything.
You also got a 9 out of 10 from me on that one. I don't know what I can't do in this system. It's very narrative, and the 1 point buy makes it easy fucking peasy.
Yeah. And also, big points for being able to alter powers and being able to add area of effect and conditions. Very impressed with the ability to have like curses, like things, the judge activated powers, stuff like that. Solve a lot of interesting, unique situations when it comes to superhero games.
Lots of cool options listed, like how to make your powers stronger or how to make your powers weaker and how to get them for cheaper prices, different costs. There was lots of really cool options in here. 9 out of 10 for me. And that brings us to setting and theme. And where some games, I think, do a great job of establishing lore, and even Cypher System had all these different examples of play styles and settings and how to make your world feel that way and play that way. I thought that this game didn't do that. But it did have a lot of really cool things in the rules, like I was just talking about for the options. There were a lot of really cool things in the rules of this game that made it feel like a superhero game. Things you could take, the disadvantages, the advantages of being able to turn straight into your costume, or all of those things I thought were really thematic and really cool to the superhero setting and really put me in it. I went with an 8 because it didn't establish a city or a lore or how to play these settings, but I thought it did do a good job thematically of pushing that superhero vibe, where, again, not to bash on Cypher System, I don't think Cypher System actually did a great job of doing that. In hindsight, theirs was, it was a mod for Cypher System, and so it doesn't quite read as easy as a superhero base system.
Yes, that is true. And same like GURPS also has a superhero setting. And yeah, you're not going to have the same tailor-made experience. So what was your setting score?
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7. Very similar review. The place that the setting and theme come from is in the creation and the powers. And, you know, we love, like, Dune does a very good job of making the rules into lore. And I feel like that this has that, and that's where it comes from in this setting. And even though we shit on some of the art, some of it's very good, and some of it does genuinely inspire creativity. And so, yeah, that's where... So mine's a 7.4.
Mine was also a 7.4. I kid you not.
So,
it's hard to see on the paper.
Supers from Hazard Studios gets a 7.4 out of 10 boxes, I
Unanimous.
guess, from fresh out the box.
And that's the first time that we haven't had to average our score.
Yeah, that's the first time.
We gave this one a clean 7.4.
Yeah, we both gave it 7.4. We both, yeah. Interesting.
If I'm not mistaken, Cypher System got a 7.0 or a 6.8. And where do we put Mutants and Masterminds? Didn't it get a 7.2? A 7.2, I mean?
I have those numbers here. I can find out. What, is this our front? I don't think this is our front runner. It might be.
It might be. That's what I'm trying to figure out. It might have just taken the lead by 0.2.
So I only have my scores written down. So I gave Mutants and Masterminds, I wanted to give it, I think, a 9 out of 10. Oh, no, maybe that's wrong. Because that doesn't average right. But yeah. I think Mutants and Masterminds might have also been a 7.4. But it also might have been higher.
Possible.
But I'll find out. We're going to have a list. I've been thinking about making a website. I don't know, but that's a lot of work. So we'll figure it out. We're definitely going to have to consolidate our reviews somewhere. So look for that in the future. That was cool. I like that. That was a good one. That was good.
Absolutely.
That was a good stream. That was a good. How you feel, Gary? You done? You good to go?
Yeah, man. I liked it. I liked Supers.
I did too. I would play this. I think it's so easy. I like it.
Yeah, It very well may be one of our front runners here in this what are we gonna play superhero style edition. Other than that, hey man, I'm Casualty CDG. You can find me at Casualty CDG on social medias, all of them. Just type it and find it, and that's me. Follow us every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. while we play role-playing games, we read about games, we play board games, and we do interviews with creators. And then, of course, follow our podcast, Fresh Out the Podcast, with a new episode every Sunday on Spotify and every other podcast provider you could think of, like Apple and Google and Podbean, and the list goes on. We talk about movies and games and all sorts of things that just strike our fancy. If there's any superhero games you want to see, or any board games or tabletop games or anything, drop us a line. We're easy to find, and we just want to play things with people. We love games. You love games. Everyone is games. Yeah, games are... Yeah, we want to play every game ever made. A lofty and unachievable goal, but we're going to die trying. I'm Johananon, the Game Master Extraordinaire and Board Game Guru. Find me at RockFact on Twitter. Find me at Johananon1 on TikTok for some deep dives into some TTRPG books. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Stay fresh.